the Yankees have not stopped. After a busy offseason so far, which included the huge offer of Juan Soto, the historic offer, the acquiring Max Fried, they went out and go get the best closer in baseball at the moment in Devin Williams. Now, they gave up a guy that they said was going to be starting for them at second base, and they also went away from their pitching depth, which is fine. That's what you do when you get pitching depth. You can trade away from it, especially starting pitching depth to a team like the Brewers, who will take a decent starter and probably get the best out of them. So, Devin Williams to the Yankees is a huge get. I'm very excited if I were a Yankees fan. I hate it as a Phillies fan because I wanted the Phillies to go get Devin Williams and feel like they could have put together a somewhat of a decent package compared to this, but at the end of the day, were the Brewers going to trade with the in-league division or in-league rival potentially, all that fun stuff. So we can come take a look at what the Yankees are rolling with now, right? This is one of their biggest weaknesses that people said they need to address, and they're doing it. They signed Loisaca. They got Devin Williams, the best closer in baseball. Yes, you see that ERA, a 1.25. And, he is coming off an injury that only allowed him to pitch 21 innings last year and had the lasting image of him is the home run to Pete Alonso. So who knows if Devin Williams is going to be healthy his whole tenure as a Yankee. We don't know. It was a spine issue, I believe, that kept him out for so long. But looking on the positive side of things, they got the best closer in the sport. They got him for a decent price, right? Nothing too crazy. They were able to make this move for Devin Williams and not be ruined by it, right? Their pitching is still great. They still have decent depth, great depth at pitching. Even right now, they could put Stroman elsewhere, get rid of him, and put Clark Schmidt in at the 5 spot and roll with that 5, which is a great 5. But as a whole, I love what the Yankees are doing this offseason, right? There seems to be a different approach over the last few years compared to now that they're just going all in. They got to the World Series last year, and they want to win. They want to get over the top, and they're acting like a team who has all the money in the world and that can do this. And personally, from a non-biased standpoint, I love seeing it because I love seeing owners who care and want to put money into their teams. Hal Steinbrenner's putting money into his team. Brian Cashman's going out being aggressive like a team should who has a window. Because like I mentioned a little bit earlier in our last video regarding the Yankees, these guys are getting old. Fried or Cole, Judge, Stanton, these guys are getting old. Their time to win is right now. Probably within the next year or two, they have to win. If they don't, who knows if they'll get back to that point soon. But Devin Williams expiring deal, so this is an all-in move, right? This is a rental basically for the year. Who knows where Devin Williams goes at the end of the year? He'll be 31 and went with one of the best rap sheets in the MLB for a closer, so he'll get big money if he stays healthy. But the Yankees are doing Yankee things right now, and this is good. This is good for the sport, in my opinion. The sport is better when teams like the Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, Mets, all your big market teams are spending and trying to get better because that's what the sport is for, right? We want the most competitive sport. We want the best teams going against each other, and that's what we're getting right now. And I kind of love it. Devin Williams to the Yankees is a huge move, and Yankee fans should be absolutely ecstatic about it. This is exactly what Yankees fans can be expecting to see in the Bronx next year. A stud closer, some of the nastiest stuff in the league, and a guy who is going to give you quality innings for the back end of your bullpen. Now, we saw what happened in the Mets series, the Pete Alonso home run, but still, I think this guy is a dude who can close out a World Series for a team like the Yankees. Very excited for Yankees fans, as they should be as well. The other half of the Devin Williams trade is obviously the Brewers, right? They went out and traded Devin Williams, which everyone had a feeling was going to happen at some point. And just a heads up, this is what they're losing, right? They're losing one of the best relievers in the sport, if not the best. In my opinion, he's the best, right? They're losing this guy. This is the man that they're losing. Just look at the Savant page; it's all red, and we all know what he does great, right? He has that amazing, one of the best pitches in the sport, one of the best pitches ever in that airbender circle change, right? It's unbelievable. But what the Brewers do is they trade those guys, and then they make another one, right? They had Hader. Oh, what are they going to do without Hader? Oh, okay, here's Devin Williams. What are they going to do without Devin Williams? Oh, Trevor McGill, a guy who already had closing experience last year due to Devin Williams being injured for the beginning part of the year. And they're just going to pivot right to him. So they're not even concerned about losing Devin Williams. They're not going to pay him the money. that he's probably going to demand on the open market last year, and they get something back for him. And what they get back is Nestor Cortez and Caleb Durbin. Nestor Cortez is a guy who's going to give you some innings, right? He threw 174, which would have been the most on the Brewers starting staff last year. He's going to give you a good season, right? 162 strikeouts, not that many walks, a 3.77 ERA. Not a bad year at all by Nestor Cortez, right? And then you add that to a team who knows how to develop pitching really well. And not to say that the Yankees don't, because the Yankees actually do develop pitching really well. But they're just not the Brewers. The Brewers are one of the best at developing pitchers in the game. And you give them a guy who's good, give him a guy who has experience, who has pitched in the playoffs, right? I like this move. Like adding Nestor, for the Yankees, it's smart. Trade from their depth. For the Brewers, it's smart. Get a guy that they know they can get some good innings out of. The other part was Caleb Durbin. It was a 2-for-1 trade. Caleb Durbin is coming off an amazing Arizona Fall League where he swiped a gazillion bags. He hit the ball hard, hit like 4 or 5 home runs, which if you don't know what the Arizona Fall League, it's not like a full season. It's like a few week long thing where some prospects play, and Caleb Durbin won the breakout player of the year in it. And there were some studs prospect wise in there. Now, how does he fit into the Brewers lineup? I think what we're going to see, Joey Ortiz go to third. Then I think we'll see Caleb Durbin play short. Because I think Pat Murphy already said Bryce Terang is staying at second, and obviously, dude, Bryce Terang is a Platinum Glove winner, I believe, or just might be just a Gold Glove winner. You know what I mean? He's a stud. And now the lineup, with Caleb Durbin, I wonder how it's going to be. Right? He's obviously has not made the majors yet, so we don't know. Maybe he's a bust. Maybe he's a stud. Who knows? But the top 3 is a great lineup. Right? This is one of the best top 3s in the sport. Hopefully, Christian Yelich comes back healthy, but Jackson Chourio is a stud. Was a Rookie of the Year finalist. Will win Rookie of the Year if he was in the AL. You could say that for Jackson Merrill as well. But Jackson Chourio is a stud, and he's not even 21 yet. Christian Yelich, one of the best players in the sport if he's healthy. As we saw last year, he was off to an amazing start before the back injury. And who knows what the back injury is going to do to him, right? Back injuries are tough for guys like that to come back from. William Contreras, the best catcher in the sport. And the rest of the lineup is right? Joey Ortiz started off hot at the beginning of the year, was an all-star. Rhys Hoskins is a guy that they're already looking to trade because he makes big money, not the Brewers' way. But the lineup is not what the Brewers do. They don't mash anyone to death. What the Brewers do is they pitch people to death, and that's what they went out and addressed. They got Nestor Cortez to add another starter, and their bullpen is going to be perfectly fine. If we see where their bullpen ranked, look at this. 2nd ERA, 3rd in WHIP, 8th in walks per 9. They don't strike anybody out, but they do. What they do great is that they don't let anyone hit the ball, and they just don't let runs up, right? They're great at run reduction. That's what they do. That is the Brewer way. So you combine that with a prospect that they got from the Yankees who could help their lineup a little bit, and a starting pitcher who's definitely going to help their lineup because that was their weakness, starting pitching. They're going to be in a good spot next year, and I think that the Brewers will be fine. This is what they do. Who knows if they're going to compete with the Cubs, because it seems like the Cubs might be the favorite, as I made in a video earlier. So who knows what they're going to do, but I personally think this is a good trade for both sides. Win-win in my eyes. Like I said earlier, I do like the return for the Brewers, right? Here's Nestor Cortez in the playoffs in a tight situation, so he's been there before, right? The playoffs is not new to him. He's given the Yankees quality innings over the last few years, being an all-star at one point. So the Brewers are getting someone they know can shore up their depth in their bullpen, which is a spot they struggled in. It's no secret that's what the Brewers need. They need starting pitching, and they need a little bit more help in the lineup, but we know they're not going to address the lineup that much. We know what the Brewers do at this point, right? It's no secret that the Brewers address pitching and will beat teams by pitching them, because that's ultimately what wins in the playoffs, right? Great pitching always beats great hitting for the most part. And the next guy that gets Caleb Durbin, which we talked about, here's him shining in the Arizona Fall League, right? Had a great All-Star game for the Arizona Fall League, and he can do a lot, right? He runs, he can hit, he has decent pop, he can field. This is a guy who the Brewers would love to have on their team, and I'm happy for the Brewers that this is who they went out and got from the Yankees farm system. A guy who can seriously help them out playing the brand of baseball that Brewers like to play. Great move by both teams.